Hey, Gaybros Blake.
Hey, Gabriel Jose.
Where are we today?
I'm in San Francisco, in the dark, cold San Francisco.
Dark cold. I forgot to tell you. Usually I tell you the weather and you rejoice in just hearing that it's better in San Francisco.
Tell me.
It's 36.
Oof, it's not like make your skin hurt cold, but that's uncomfortable cold for sure.
Yesterday was 20. 20 or 15 or something. I remember like just going to the street to throw the garbage and I didn't even like pick a jacket. I was like, it's 30 seconds. And I was like just running both directions. And then even like in the hall of the building, that you know how it is. It's like they just sort of have like AC and a heater. The heater was not powerful enough for just like preventing the pain. So it was a bit more like, for me, like just running to the elevator, just like clicking the button as fast as possible.
So are you regretting it yet? The move?
No, no, dude. Is that yesterday was the coldest day of the year, so quality of life, ton of stuff to do, it still trumps. That is like what, 50 there, 60?
Today it was 56-ish.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
It was
Okay. But talking about, I don't know how to connect this. I'm trying. Just help me out. I'm trying to connect to this movie.
to this movie we watched this week that also features weather.
Does it? It has weather. All movies have some kind of weather, except maybe Cube. But what is it? Buried?
The Room.
The Room.
Very little weather in the room.
Okay, talking about
Oh no, the one that made that girl an Oscar winner, not Wiseau's.
Brie Larson, no? She won an Oscar for The Room. For Room, not Their Room.
Oh, just Room.
Just Room. Yes.
She was in Room the whole time.
Okay, just whatever. We're talking about weather. Now we're talking about Saltburn.
Right.
And this was your pick. Why? Why did you pick this?
I went to see a movie a few weeks ago, and I always pay attention to when a trailer starts that starts to look cool and they start quoting people. You have to check who they're quoting. But then they started to quote festivals, and then I saw the cast, and then I watched the rest of the trailer, and this looks exactly like right up my alley in terms of guilty pleasure, where it's just there's a quote in the trailer that says something like a gothic horror story with electric punk pansexuality or something.
Yeah, something glitter. Yeah,
glitter, punk glitter, and it really looks like a sexy as fuck like fun ride with there's a sinister aspect to it, and the trailer doesn't give away too much, I think. And it just seemed like the perfect movie where you could just go on a lazy afternoon and enjoy a guilty pleasure, which is what I'm going to be honest, I expected it to be above a guilty pleasure. Like a relatively good movie is what I expected.
Yeah. But it's interesting because, as you say, it's like it presented like a gothic horror thriller kind of thing. Not full horror, but I mean like having some kind of mystery. I felt like that was not really a thriller. I mean, it had like a thriller component to it, but I couldn't define it like that.
It doesn't. I mean, why don't you give the synopsis?
Yeah, let me just get the synopsis. I may try this on the cinema right now, but I think that we're going to spoil it because I think that the ending is meaningful for us. But basically the story follows, let me just check the names. I think that I have them here. Follows Oliver Quick. That's right. There is like a kid that is in what year was it? 2009 or something? Because they make that very explicit.
Class of 2006, but these are incoming freshmen, so it would have been 2002.
Oh, I didn't get that.
That's they welcome you using the year you graduate. You're the class that will finish in 2006.
Oh, good say. I didn't realize about that. That's so interesting that they are so forward-looking on that. But yeah, these are like new kids in Oxford. Is it Oxford or is it Cambridge?
It's Oxford. I thought it was Cambridge until they said it by name.
Oxford, almost looking at the camera. So there's a kid, new, like a freshman, as you were saying, and it's clear that he's a bit socially awkward. He tries to socialize a bit. The only person that he connects with is a person that it looks like a caricature copy of him, that is like glasses and very like formal wearing kind of thing. The guy
unbalanced emotionally.
Yeah. So, but one day he runs into a very popular kid, also a freshman. He's a freshman too, no? The other one. Albert, he knows everyone.
Yeah, no, I think they're all freshmen.
Yeah.
This kid has a title and a castle. He's of royal lineage. Not a prince, but he has
but he's like a duke of whatever. Oh, and they have a castle, as you were saying. But we don't know that at the beginning.
That's true. You only find out about that at that party. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. So basically, Oliver one day like crosses paths with him. His bike has a flat tire, and Oliver offers his bike to him because he's in a rush that he has to go somewhere, and they kick a frenzy. That they start like just sharing a lot of time together. Felix, that is the name of this kid, this royal kid, is that he introduces it to all of his friends, and he tries to make the friends like accept him. But clearly, as he belongs to a different social class, the friends that they're not all of them rich or from royal heritage, is that not all of them are welcoming of him until sometime later. Is like at some point, well, he's starting to feel like a bit rejected by him, that he feels like Felix is moving on after he met a girl, if I recall correctly. I watched this movie almost a week ago. Is that at that point, actually, Oliver's father dies. And Oliver like just shares in confidence like a bit about like what is like his family, his parents, they were not the best. Like the mother has like mental problems, and with the father dead, he doesn't know like how is this going to be like operating.
And also they're alcoholics and addicts and live in filth.
Yeah, he's there with a scholarship. So Felix, in order to actually like just be nice as he is that he offers him to just spend a spring break or summer break. I think it's summer break. That is like the end of the first year. Is that he offers him to, it's like, hey, why don't you come to Saltburn? That is my castle. Well, my family's castle. Where actually you have like the mom, that is Rosamund Pike, the girl, the Gone Girl from Gone Girl. You have the father.
You're a big Rosamund Pike fan, or did I make that up?
You're making it up.
Okay.
I'm okay with her, but I'm fine. Is like,
I thought you were like a super fan of her. I don't know why.
No, I mean the thing is like she's there, and from that perspective is that I don't think that I would have go out of my way to watch this movie because she's there. It was more of a coincidence. There's like, oh my god, this is Rosamund Pike from Gone Girl.
Maybe I'm confusing her with your other female crush. I can never remember her name, from The Gilded Age and The Leftovers.
Carrie Coon. Yeah, for Carrie Coon, I may have done an effort, but it still would depend a bit about like how good or bad the movie is. It's not like a guarantee that if she's there, that is like, oh my god, this is going to be an amazing movie. It's like, maybe it is. I like her. So, but in case, the mother is Rosamund Pike. What's the name of the mother? Well, it doesn't matter much. And the father, I don't remember who is the actor. The what?
E. Grant.
Gotcha. So they basically have like this series of kids. They have Felix, like the main kid of the movie from the family. He has a sister that is called Venetia, Alison Oliver, and then they have a cousin that he's from the States, I think, that is living with them, like basically that is family. And there is also one random girl that they are hosting there. Like, you remember? Carrie Mulligan. Was it like Pamela?
I was so confused why she was in that role, because it's the most insignificant role that doesn't, like, it has the capability to go somewhere interesting, but then at just some point they're like,
disappear.
Oh no, she left the castle.
Yep.
Never comes back.
Yep. Yeah, I think there is probably some kind of they got along like pretty well on Promising Young Woman, and it was a bit more. It's like, hey, why don't you do like a cameo level? But the problem is like it's larger than a cameo, but it's not significant enough for being, as you say, like a regular or significant character. But yeah, then as they are spending the summer there, it's clear that the kids don't get along like so well with them, like Venetia and Farley, until we get to a point that basically Oliver like drops his mask when he's like with Venetia on the outside at night, and they start like they cross paths like multiple times, and they start like just flirting. Felix tells him that it's like, hey, last year I invited another friend, but he actually got like a bit fresh with Venetia, and we have to kick him out. Oliver start like do you remember that?
I want to be very clear that it's not exactly flirting. It's more like toxic intimidation with some sensuality. It's like how Isabelle Huppert would flirt in Elle.
Yeah.
It's not like smiling and winking.
No. It's a bit more of a power,
like dominant,
a power dynamic. Yeah.
Total power.
Yeah. So, but we only see them like doing that in that way. So from that point, I'm going to be like skipping like some steps, but it's like basically we start seeing him more openly manipulating everything around him. It's like Farley sees everything and he snitches on him to Felix. So he goes after him, and then we see that he manipulated the family for kicking him out of the house because he stole something and he tried to sell it, and they accidentally heard about that. So he disappears from there. And then basically they plan a birthday party for Oliver. And as a birthday surprise, Felix decides to take Oliver to, what is the name of the village where he was from? Where Oliver was from?
Oh, like Eastford. It's a very.
It was not Cork, but
outside of Liverpool.
Yeah, like probably middle of nowhere, but it was like a well-known, like whatever. And he was expecting that if we go to your home, it's going to be like very terrible from everything that you described from my parents. But spoiler alert, twist and coming is like it is not, and the father is not dead. He made everything up. It's actually like the son of a very high class, upper middle class, kind of thing. Everything points to that when they arrive to the house. Like, I think it's a nice house, and your parents look like super normal. So while Oliver is like pretty like, hey, I want to.
Also, he was like, oh, your dad's here? I thought you said your dad died.
Yep. So from that point, the dynamic like goes down the drain. The party was going to be the next day, so he's allowed to stay before Felix says anything to his parents about like this guy has been lying all the time, to stay like for the night. And here's like where the things go like completely off the rails. Farley reappears on the picture that he's invited again to the birthday party for some weird reason, albeit he supposedly stole something, and then Oliver, that is like completely ignored by Felix, is that he decides to just basically murder him.
Well, I mean,
poison him.
The film reveals that like 25 minutes later. There's oh god, I don't even want you to finish trying to explain all of the like little things that happen at the end.
Yeah.
Because it's not clever.
No,
I'm not someone who takes pride in like guessing what's gonna happen, but I remember it being so obvious, like in the 20 minutes leading up to him visiting his parents' house. I was like, it's so clearly that they're alive and that he's a sociopath. So that every time they had like a major quote unquote reveal, it was like we all like you made this very clear from the beginning what is happening.
Yeah, I think that is that when he drops his mask, is that there is no subtlety. Like when he's like just flirting quote unquote with Venetia, is like from this point onward, is like, hey dude, is like everything that this guy has said in the whole movie has no value. So
the only thing I disagree with that statement is I think he was a virgin who knew nothing about the power of his sexuality until he started to wield it as a weapon with every single member of the family. And then he figured out that's how he could manipulate and use them. I don't think that's who he was. It's who he figured out he needed to be.
I would say I don't fully agree. It's like because when we have like the full reveal and we see is like, hey, this guy actually planned all of this, even like the encounter with Felix and just how he has been like just coaching him for this. I just feel it's like, no, this guy is like a fucking sociopath that he's been like manipulating. It's like maybe it's virgin, maybe it's not, but it's like, I think that he knew of the power of that, and he knew that it's like, hey, Venetia and Farley, they're going to be like way easier to manipulate through sex than actually through a harmful connection. That is what he needs with that. So basically it's revealed that this guy is a fucking criminal mastermind.
Except like after Felix dies, it's not Felix, Felix. After Felix dies at a party under mysterious circumstances, like
the last person that saw him was Oliver.
And also Oliver, and we find out why it was a trick. He vomited at the scene. The police would come and they would check the vomit for DNA and be like, what do you know about this, Oliver?
What did you puke? And we see like poison traces here, the same poison that we found on this body, or it's like maybe this is like a criminal mastermind that he can manipulate, like creating like a poison that it only affects this guy. Everything was like, look, this is like going off the rails, like completely. Up to this point, I didn't know exactly what movie I was watching. When he drops the mask, like the first time, it's like, oh my God, I'm watching like a less sophisticated, less smart, talented Mr. Ripley.
That's a very good way to put it. And while I don't want you to continue the synopsis fully, we do have to say that Felix dies, and then we're treated to a scene in the rain where Oliver
oh my God,
all of his clothes and lays on top of the fresh soil, and he's naked, and so he inserts himself into the grave and has sex, and it goes on for so long. And what annoyed me about it, I was like, okay, this is fairly shocking. I don't know that I've seen this to this scale, but why did we sat looking at it for like 120 seconds, man? Like, it was long. It was a long ass scene.
I actually, when I see like some of these scenes, because there are several of these scenes in this movie, like when he's with Venetia and Venetia is in that moment of the month, is that there are a couple of scenes that they are like pretty awkward. I usually just like sink on my seat on the sofa. I like tend to put like a hand in front and I just look at my boyfriend and I'm like, there is no point. And I'm fine with shocking stuff. I'm fine with whatever. But dude, you're rejoicing on this.
And as someone who despises Sam Raimi's style of the shock and gross out, like, I can tell he does it in a way that's like, okay, I can see how this could be fun if this was your taste. This is not the fun sort of like gothic mystery that they promised in the trailers. Just like, oh, you're gonna make us watch really awkward things for a long time.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, it's not even like, it's more like shock value, but it doesn't give me anything. It's not about like Isabel Hooper getting raped in hell. It's like, hey, you're giving me like something of shocking value, but it's for selling me how toxic like this dynamic is. It's like in this case,
don't achieve that in this. It's just like awkward and weird the film couldn't figure out what it wanted to be. It was like two separate movies completely. Like the time at Oxford, I actually felt like it was pretty well done. I liked some of those scenes. But the second they get to Saltburn, it's just like, oh, there's Carey Mulligan. Oh, he's having sex with everyone.
And now she's not there anymore.
Bye, Carey.
She disappears like off a screen, I think.
Yeah, they said, oh, is what's her name coming to dinner? Oh no, she left discreetly last night. Oh no, it was this morning.
This morning. But it makes me feel almost like, hey, then the movie turns into some kind of Big Brother, Royal Big Brother kind of thing about like he's like trying to manipulate the situation for removing characters from the picture, killing them directly, making them commit suicide, or just incriminating them or something. But it felt redonkulous. it felt more like, I don't know what you want me to do with this movie. I don't know if this is supposed to be like a class commentary, if it's about like the entitlement that he had. If you want me to root for this guy, because I was thinking about a promising young woman, but it's a bit more, it's like, this woman may have like some weird methods, but it's like, she's on the right kind of thing. But in this case, it's a bit more of a, well, Oliver is fucking insane. And he doesn't come from a poor family, so this is not about like, this is not The Servant. This is not like an inversion of power.
I would just say that the upper class, the family and the upper class friends, they were standoffish and sometimes unkind, but overall incredibly generous to this guy.
Yep.
So if it was like a class commentary, the commentary is that be careful of the poor people.
Well, of the ones that they pretend they're poor, because maybe they are not, and they're going to kill your song. I honestly, and I'm not going to be like this. Like, well, the last scene, I just felt like, okay, this was like just a single take, but it made me feel, and you're going to be pissed when I say this, about Aronofsky. It made me think that they actually thought about this scene, and then they thought about like, how can we build a movie that ends on this scene?
What am I? So I'll just say what it is. He inherits Saltburn after he kills every member of that family, and
or they die of natural causes, of a screen of natural causes.
Who died of natural causes? Nobody.
The father, no?
He killed himself.
Oh,
she said, honestly, I'm surprised he waited so long to do it after their daughter died. She thought he was going to kill himself super fast.
And then the other part that I love is that actually then he's invited to go back to the house by the mother, and then he gets like a terminal illness, and then he basically kills her.
He poisoned her? Like
probably.
And then you got so sick.
Yeah, but it was a bit more about like, okay, the police on this reality of UK, they don't exist. Yeah.
This is why I don't go to Europe. It's a dangerous, dangerous place.
Especially England, dude. It's such a cesspool of criminals. Yeah. So yeah, as you were saying,
if I'm wrong. So there's the scene where he's clearly entered the house as now the new owner. He's won his entire, however long 5-10 year plan, and he takes off all his clothes and he dances through all of the great rooms of this very impressive castle, and it goes on for rooms and rooms and rooms, and he's just dick out, balls bouncing, dancing, not badly, but it was just, this could be another cool 15-second scene, but we're gonna make it 100
5 minutes. Yep. Yeah.
But correct me if I'm wrong. So when Oliver arrives at Saltburn, Felix gives him a tour in this, I think the exact same itinerary, and he's like, I wanted to fuck Felix, but really I wanted to be him.
Correct. Yeah, and I discussed this with my boyfriend. That is, I think that it's a bit of not so much about like the love component, but a bit more about like replacing. And that's when I started thinking about like the talent of Mr. Ripley. About like, there is like this barrier between like, do I want to be with this person, or do I want to be this person and everything that they have? But it's like he goes like a step further about like, I want everything that he has, and I want to remove everything else. I want this for myself.
This movie was so dumb. So when Oliver arrives at Saltburn for the summer, Felix shows him the rooms, and the rooms are actually adjoining, sharing a bathroom, which provides a wonderful scene for him to observe Jacob.
Oh my God!
In a tub,
and then sucking the water of the bathtub.
The New York Times was like, this was so embarrassing watching this actor do his damnedest to save a film that's just not savable. So
it was not a critic's pick, no?
No. In fact, they didn't even have a film critic review it. It's just like a staff writer.
It was the intern.
So he goes into his bedroom, and everything is old and expensive in this home. And he goes into this, there's like a very old, like wind-up toy that looks like a puppet show.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He touches it, and it's a family of 4 that just dance whenever he hits a button. And we're like, okay, we get it. He's going to manipulate them.
Making them dance for him.
But they were not satisfied with that illusion or foreshadowing. So at the end of this long dance scene, he arrives in a great room with the same thing, and we see that he made them dance.
Yeah, and you see like the stones that they have on top of it for each one, and then I mean, the thing is, like, from a cinematography perspective, I like that scene.
The single shot's cool. I mean, I was very impressed with that actor. It's a nice shot, but it doesn't add anything nice to the story.
I think that is like, at that point, there was no way of saving that story. Is that anything could have happened? Is that there is no way of redeeming that story? Even like with that scene that I felt is that scene was cool. I was like, but this is 2 hours that I'm never getting back of my life.
Not to jump ahead, but this film absolutely could have been shorter than the 2+ hour running time that it actually was.
So one thing that I was like wondering about is that you said that the movie starts in, so it's like the class of 2006. So it's in 2002, 2003?
Yes, so it'd be freshman in the year 2002.
So I don't know if you realize at the end when they accidentally ran into each other, you know, on the bar, on the cafe or whatever, is that he is writing on a laptop. But if you see some of the bartenders, they're wearing masks, and it makes me think that it's like, oh, this was like during the pandemic, like 2021, 2022. So it's that the whole story took like 20 years.
Interesting. I was looking for some sort of thing to indicate how much time had passed, and I didn't recognize that. And Rosamund Pike says something like, "Oh my gosh, you've grown up." Well, of course you've grown up. There's been so much time. I was like, oh, okay. But was it like 5 years? Was it 25 years? I don't know.
Well, that's the thing, is like when you pick an actor that is like, what, 32, 34?
Wasn't he nominated for an Oscar?
31. He's 31. But he basically looks like an our age. You know, I was just talking with my boyfriend about like, hey, this guy looks like 15 years older than everyone else on this cast. On the age of the kids, he's like 5 years older than the rest of the kids, you know. And the thing is, like, when they do the jump and they say like, oh my god, you changed so much, it's like, no, he changed makeup and clothes. It's that the clothes are a bit tighter right now, but it's that every single time that he loses the t-shirt, and he loses it a lot during this movie, is that he has like an amazing body that is like, okay, this guy that is supposed to be like the poor nerd dorky guy has like the body of a bodybuilder.
Yeah, well, this movie wouldn't have even made it to the big screen if he had been an unattractive man.
Face-wise, he's one of the most British person that I see. And sorry if anyone listening is from there, but he's...
I feel annoyed at how much they gay-baited all of us with that trailer, because you think there's going to be something between Felix. Like, I didn't expect they were going to have sex or be secret boyfriends or whatever, but like, come on. They had to give us something with that relationship. Otherwise, it was the most boring relationship in the world.
Wait, but don't you think that is a fucking the fresh soil where he was grounded doesn't count like love?
Absolutely, and it's a pure love. Like, I'm not judging that. I just want some of that love where Jacob Elordi also participated actively and not so much in a passive role.
What you wanted to see is him naked when he's in the bathtub.
No, but like Felix would kiss him on the cheek at parties, and like he was clearly super flirty. Like there was more there than just two bros. I'm sorry, there was.
Probably there was, but the movie didn't want to give you that. They were a bit more busy on I don't want this to happen. Once again,
they didn't want us to enjoy the movie. Well,
yeah.
They succeeded.
But the thing is that if you think about the talented Mr. Ripley, it's like nothing really happens between both of them. Between Dick and I don't remember like what was Ripley's name. Tom. Dick and Tom.
Yeah.
But they play with the idea that it's like they get close, and definitely Tom wants more.
What's his name? Jude Law. Jude Law's character did not flirt and kiss Tom. Flirt with and kiss Tom. The one scene they had was the chess scene, and it was creepy.
Yeah. Well, but the thing is, how he asked if he got into the bathtub. But you have to think about like the times. Is that I think that Felix is being like a nice guy. I think that he's straight and he doesn't want anything with him, but he's just being nice about like, I'm not going to be like this. I'm going to be like completely fine with him like approaching me, but as long as he doesn't do like a complete move, I'm not going to be like just stopping him.
That's right.
So I think that part is fine. I think that Felix is portrayed as a nice guy for the whole bit.
Yeah, I think he's genuinely a nice guy.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that the only Farley is also pretty shitty.
Oh, he's really shitty. So is the sister.
The sister is like is the second there, but yeah, nothing compares to him. And I think that we should go over the questions.
Let's do it. I've spent enough hours on this movie today.
Would you watch it again?
Honestly, I probably would if I wanted to sleep on a flight and it was one of the options, because you don't need to pay attention at all. It would be white noise for me. But that is the only situation where I think I would watch it again.
Do you really want me to write yes because you will use it for fall asleep?
No, okay. This is not a movie I will ever seek out again.
Yeah, I wouldn't go out of my way. I mean, I would only go out of my way to avoid watching it again. But otherwise, no, I'm never going to be like looking for it. Would you recommend it?
No. I mean, I can imagine a situation where someone's like, do you like Jacob Elordi? Do you know any movies that he's in? I do know a movie he's in.
Okay, sure. I wouldn't recommend it.
I would not recommend this now.
Okay, I cannot think of any situation where actually I would say it's like, oh, can you think of anyone that infiltrates into a rich family and then they try to, the talented Mr. Ripley is like, can you think of anything else? I say, no, there is nothing else. Talented Mr. Ripley. Oh my god, yeah, another Patricia Highsmith movie that is almost about.
This is not exactly a rare genre.
Fair,
just
that's fair.
Until the end, whether the poor people are bad or the rich people are bad.
Yep, that's fair. I don't even remember much about that movie besides being from a Patricia Highsmith book. Would you remember Saltburn?
Probably. I mean, man comes to castle, kills entire family, takes castle. Yeah, I got this.
So funny games.
Yeah, with less real estate changing hands, but yes.
Sure. I'm going to go with no, because I was thinking right now, like, if someone mentions Saltburn in 3 years, I'm not going to remember anything about it. It's not going to evoke anything. It's not descriptive enough. And then if I watch a trailer, I had the feeling that my brain will try to feel like the rest of the movie with what I was expecting to find from watching the trailer before going to watch it.
I agree. This film has had such little impact on me. It's one of the films that maybe in 3 years you'll be like, remember that movie you made us watch called Saltburn? I'll be like, no, I've never seen anything called Saltburn. Are you kidding? And you're like, yes, you did. We did a
podcast. Exactly. Yeah, I think that this is like one of these movies that is good to have like physical proof that we watch it, because I 100% not going to forget it. Yep, 100%.
Besides all the frontal nudity.
So would you stick with Jess, or would you remember it?
Yeah, I will remember this movie.
As a warning for you in the future. For future, like nope. Is there anything artistic about it?
No. I don't think we've ever answered no to a movie before. There's something. There's always something that's like, hey, this was pretty good.
It's like one of the ones that is more uncommon to say no. I'm going to go with just because artistically I like the final scene. I felt like peace about it, but I also like that it's a single take. The guy dance well. It's stupid as fuck, but I guess that is artistic. If I had to say like a single scene is that on this movie, I would say that now I can start from scratch and just create a story that is interesting for justifying this. I
feel like it's not enough. Even if someone asks you, hey, what are some really artistic single shots in films? You will never think about this, ever.
That's fair. Okay, you have convinced me. I'm going to go with no. If that's the only saving grace, I had the feeling that is not enough, as you say.
It's not.
Yeah. Is it a timeless piece?
Sure. It's going to be just as irrelevant in 2050 as it is today. I don't think anything will change with the passage of time. There's nothing that's, in the zeitgeist of culture right now. There's nothing that's... technology is not really a big issue. It's just... Yeah, it's not timely. It's not like a comedy about rape revenge like the last movie.
Yeah, that's true. But I have a question. Is like for the first part of the movie, that they are in 2003. Is do you feel like that's 2003? That's 20 years ago? Because for me, it was like, hey, these people are behaving, and the group of people, like Farley is a very openly gay person or bisexual.
It was way too pansexual. That's why I was like, if this is supposed to be 2002 and he's like kissing him in front of his bros at like frat parties, I was like, that's different. But I think they were just trying to adopt now how like Euphoria is, and everybody kisses boys and girls. And but I mean, they made a huge effort to use songs that were huge in 2003 for all the karaoke, to have them watch movies that were popular in 2003.
I felt a bit infuriated that they made like such a big deal of, hey, we're making an effort here, so we're watching Superbad. I don't remember which one was the other one that I felt is like, okay.
At least it was Ringu, I think.
Or I'm not sure. I think there was the American one. But sure. In any case, whichever of the two that it was, is that I just felt that you got this part right, but in all honesty, I feel like the behavior is not the right one. I went to watch the Holdovers, that we didn't record about it, but it's a movie that is set during the 70s, and the characters and the reality surrounding them and the problems that they are dealing with is closer to what the 70s were. Albeit was not alive, but it's like, hey, this definitely doesn't feel like 2023. For me, it's like if I remove that they don't have smartphones, it feels 2023.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. So but for me,
is that timely for you? Is that what you're saying?
I think so. I think that is like, hey, you have been like just trying to portray like our reality from now, and if you had done it like a bit more like 2003, this wouldn't have looked like that. I think that is that you only wanted to make like a story that then the time could happen in between for having this resolution like many years afterwards. So I think that they were like just more drag. And the thing is like Young Promising Woman is not really that, but it becomes a bit more of an aftermath of the Me Too movement and a bit more about like the empowering of women. So it's a bit more timely. It's still good. Being timely doesn't mean that it needs to be bad per se. And for here, like the depiction of kids that they are portraying is that in 2003, I was like pretty close to that age. Is that, as you said, is that you couldn't be like openly gay with your bros in Europe either. I don't care if they're going to Oxford, they're going to Harvard, or they're going to the University of Alabama.
I've never been in the high class, but it's my understanding that they're more permissive of like behaviors that are not embraced by the middle class, such as homosexualities or open relationships now.
You may find a bit of everything, but just think that if these people are rich, usually it's because their parents have like a lot of money and they get away with just keeping it, like with some stuff. It's like rich people, I usually don't trust that they're going to be like completely left-winged most of the time. You're going to have some, but it's like most of them are going to be like more conservative. So from my perspective, I'm like, I don't think that's the case.
They just vote to protect their money, which ends up being conservative, but a lot of them, even though they prioritize that, are still social liberals. Yeah. But they have to sacrifice those ideals to protect those taxes.
Yeah, I mean, just think that same-sex marriage in UK, it only was passed in 2014.
Oh, interesting. But they had like they had civil unions, right? That granted protections.
Let me just see. Civil union. Okay. Since when? 2005.
I mean, want something. But yeah, no, they're behind the times. I agree. And yes, I also saw that and I was like, I'm confused about how I'm supposed to take this scene because they were so insistent on dates that it's like, okay, you really want us to know what time this is.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and that's like the part I feel is like, look, if there is like a value on this, if you're like going full Stranger Things into you're going to be like vomiting 2000s facts on top of me, that's one thing, but try to make it coherent. And it's like the reality that you are like portraying, I don't buy it.
I hear you say this is timeless, and I hear why, and I don't necessarily disagree with you, but I still think for me this is timeless.
No, your argument, I agree with that one about like, it's going to be like the same value that I get now that I get like 20 years in the future. For me, it's a bit more about like when I see this movie 20 years in the future that I want. I promise here that I won't be seeing this movie 20 years in the future, regardless if I'm alive or not. Is that I think that I'm going to be thinking is that, oh my God, this feels like 2023.
Okay, fair enough.
Would you turn into a TV show?
I don't want to spend any more time in this world.
The funny thing is, like, if this was a well-made movie, I would say yes. But is that with the material that I was given, I don't see any way that I, as you say, want to spend more time in this universe.
I think the spirit of this question is, would you take it as is and make more of it?
I know. The answer is no. The answer is definitely not.
But I mean, it's like, did you watch Euphoria?
No, I didn't.
So Euphoria, I think, is a great show. I don't know if you'd like it, but like, if they made it like that, like the gothic mystery thing in a Euphoria style, that could work, but that would just be changing everything that this movie is.
Yeah. It's more like and just answering already, it's like, if I think this movie could happen better, it's like just rewrite this whole script, like throw away like all of these ideas. I don't know if this is based on a book, but throw away the book. And it's not. It's like she wrote the script. Throw away the book. Throw away like all of the ideas.
She wants to be the type of person who writes a Patty Highsmith novel, but she's not a novelist. She's a filmmaker. So she's doing her best with a script that is not.
It's not enough.
Highsmith. No, it's not.
No, definitely not enough. So if they went back to the drawing board, and I think that as a director she's competent, but it's like you hire someone to write this with you, and that person writes like 90% of this, and it takes like your general idea and it turns into something compelling where there is like less soil fucking, like bathtub sort of like leaking, and I don't know, and like blood I don't know, ingesting. It's like,
blood sex.
Yeah, I think that this could have been better, and yes, this could have been a good TV show, as it is.
In addition to the writer, an editor that has full control over the final product, but full control.
That's fair. Could this movie have been a short?
Absolutely. I could have gotten the same enjoyment out of a short about these things as I did watching 2 hours and 10 minutes. Yeah, they could cut out a lot.
Yeah, I mean, especially as you were describing earlier about like that woman, like Carey Mulligan's role, that she just disappears, basically, is like, hey, this is like 15 minutes of the movie. Just cut it. We don't care. It's like, it's just for the guy to just learn.
Editor.
Yeah, it's just to learn that he can manipulate them. He said, just don't waste time. It's that he already knows that he can manipulate it. He has been manipulating Felix. So this can be a 30-40 minutes short, not even a 1 hour.
Yeah, I agree. This could be like the length of an episode of The Office.
And turn it into a comedy.
Might as well, might not. They tried everything else, literally everything else.
Do you think this movie could have been better? I already say yes.
Yes, yeah, there's not much I would point to as good. I feel bad about saying that. I always think about the filmmakers hearing this, but it's just not. There's nothing. Even the acting isn't great. I mean, it's not bad acting. I want to be very clear, but it's not. Oh, did you see her performance? Like, Rosamund Pike was amazing. She was just.
She was there. She was there. She was like contractual there. That's what I felt. And it was more about like, he tried a bit. I think that everyone tried, like up to the resistance, but this was not.
They did their best, but I really honestly think it was the script that was like, okay, even if you're a fantastic actor, we're putting some reins on you with this script. There's only so far you can go with it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Should we score this?
Yes.
And this was your pick, so I have to score it first. I appreciate this conversation. I tend to tell to my boyfriend that sometimes we walk in with a score and then it changes. Is that I think that this brought down my score like quite a bit.
For me, for sure. I walked in with a very clear score and it went down 1.5 points.
My score is going to be a 4.5. I was thinking about like giving it a 6, like, it's okay. And he's like, no, dude, this is not okay. This shouldn't be allowed. It's like a tiny bit below mediocre.
I was going to give it a 5.5 until this conversation, and now it's just a 4. I was like, this is not even a guilty pleasure. It's less than mediocre.
Yeah, the more that I think about this movie, the more, I don't want to say the more I want to forget it, but it was more about like just thinking, it makes me just look at the holdovers and just think that was a really good movie. I don't think that people are...
The leftovers. Oh.
The holdovers. Yeah, like the Alexander Payne, And I don't know if I told you this, but it's like I met up with a friend after watching the movie, as I was telling you, and he told me that he's like, oh my God, I love Alexander Payne. And it was like the first time that in my brain connected. It's like, hey, people may actually follow Alexander Payne. If I think about it, I don't think that I would ever hear anyone saying that it's like, oh my God, I love Emerald Fennell. I watch everything that she does.
I would agree with you, but maybe she's popular with a demographic we don't talk to, like 18-year-old straight women. Maybe she has like a base somewhere in deep America where they're like, this is the entertainment we're craving for.
Honestly, just watch Promising Young Woman. It's like, it's a movie that I could say is not bad. It could have been a short. But it's like just like for the time that it was released, that it was 2020, and you remember how that year was, that it's like, there's nothing out there. It was like a good kind of, sure, it's distracting, it's entertaining.
It's been on my to-be watched list for a long time. I'm gonna be honest, after this, I think maybe I might not ever get to it, and I'm fine with that.
That's completely fair too, man. I don't think that I will go to watch it. I will go back to watch it. As this was a pick, I guess that I had to select the next one. We're going to be like just staying a bit with the upper class for a tiny bit, but we're going to go into a different genre and a different quality, at least I hope. We're going to be watching The Exterminating Angel, like the 1962, I think that it was. I was checking earlier. By Luis Buñuel.
I think the only other Buñuel film we've done is Viridiana,
yeah.
I can never say that word. But with this, that's only the second one, right?
I think so. I think that is the only two that we have seen. But at some point we should do Belvedere and The Discreet Charm of the Bourgeoisie.
I was gonna say I would really like to watch The Discreet Charm of the Bourgeoisie with you.
Yeah. Come on, anything else to say about Saltburn?
Nope.
I like this. There is so much that I could say, but we have already said too much.
Hard to think of a pun with the title. Something about...
You're going to be the one getting burned.
Yeah. You'll get burned if you watch Saltburn. No, it's not working, but no. I've got nothing more to say about this.
We already said enough. Right, to all of those people out there, thank you so much for putting up with us. And anything?
Get your flu shot and your COVID shot.
Okay, bye.